Hey guys, Dove Marcus here. Thank you so much for tuning in. So just to start off with a quick spiritual tidbit, okay, and you'll see where we're going with this. There's a concept in Kabbalah called lights and vessels. Lights and vessels, okay? So without getting into the idea what is light and spirituality, if you have, let's say, water, okay, water, you want to fill a cup, so you take a little plastic cup to the sink and you crank it on, right? And what'll happen? Or you use a fire hose to a small plastic cup, it'll shatter because there's too much water into that cup. And that's the idea with lights and vessels. Okay, so in spiritual terms, you gotta have the proper receptacle for something that you're putting in. And that's kind of like what brings us to the Digital Rabbi. Now, people have noticed, I'm sure you may have noticed, that I've started talking about showing videos of the Digital Rabbi. And for those of you who know me and have known me for a few years, it's like, uh-oh, what's he up to now? But I can assure you that this time around, the lights are coming into the proper vessels. Okay, that's like the goal of the whole thing. So the title for this is Why? Okay, why the Digital Rabbi? Because everyone's going to be saying, oh, what is the Digital Rabbi? I'm going to start off with why. And by the way, excuse me, there is a YouTube channel, there's a Facebook group. You can private message me, or maybe I'll put the link down there, but check it out. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. I guarantee you it'll change your life. Okay, pretty bold. So why the Digital Rabbi? Okay, so to introduce myself, okay, so I've been a rabbi, okay, for 15 years. Okay, right after high school, I went for 5 years. I got this degree. It was an amazing accomplishment. 5 years of intense schooling, and a rabbi says, "You are a rabbi," and people are starting to call me rabbi and Rav. It was really cool. It was very egotistical. Right, and then shortly after I received it, I was like 21 or 22. I was a young man. I went off into the world of business, and I started doing all these kinds of things like mortgages and finance, and I was actually a chaplain at a hospital. And that, you kind of get pulled down the hole of making a living, and I didn't get a job in a synagogue. I was like, oh, okay, I'll be a rabbi in this job. I'll be a rabbi over there. It's really a personal thing, right? It's about how you want to live your life. And that's how I looked at it the whole time. But as time went on, and especially when I got into healthcare, right? So I went to school to become a registered nurse, and then I've been working in that for 5 years or 7 years. I can't even keep track anymore, but I know that I've seen thousands and thousands of patients, okay? Thousands of people, all different kinds of conditions. So I've got this thing in the back of my head which says, oh, you're a rabbi, but people don't even call you rabbi, they call you Dove, and what about that whole side of your life? And it was kind of nagging at me in the back of my head, and I would answer people when they'd say, well, where's your congregation? I'd say, pointing to my patient, you're part of my congregation. I'm God's messenger of healing. Can we say that? Is that safe to say that? And I really took it seriously. And all the while that was going on, I was also kind of being bugged by something that most people who are employees of companies might feel at a certain point. And it was a certain kind of, how do we say, like a rage. I just saw things that were unjust in how I was treated as an employee, and how the purpose of healthcare was being totally chomped up by the machine. Okay, and I'm talking very, very loosely, but my pay was actually going down. Okay, and the health systems that I was working for were being flipped for millions of dollars. It was a whole big mess, right? And I was trying to really focus on my patients. And all the while, I'm thinking, where am I going with this? And I was playing around with things on the internet. I made this crazy thing called the Rabbi Taxi. That was lights out of vessels. And then, so basically what I realized after several years was that, there's an idea there's fighting illness, there's fighting disease, right? There's fighting the bad stuff in the world. There's fighting evil, right? You'd think, oh, a rabbi's fighting evil, right? But there's the flip side of that. That's the fighting the bad stuff. But what about nurturing the good? Nurturing the good. So rather than look at my journey as like you didn't work in a congregation, I started thinking of it from a different angle. But what did you do? What have you accomplished? And so what I realized is that there's a whole other side to life, and I'll loosely term it as prevention. Like not the bad side of things, but the actual flip side, the good side of things. Because in spirituality, every positive has an equal and even greater. Every positive has a flip side, right? But every flip side has a much greater and infinite positive potential. So, and we can talk about that for hours, and that's not the purpose of this. So the why the Digital Rabbi? It's part of my journey, and it's a personal journey. It's a personal blog. I put a lot of things on there. It's not just a hobby, though. There's a business behind it. It's a health and wellness company. Pretty amazing. And there's a lot to talk about. I wanted to just share the why. And I'm hoping that you can feel free to join the group. I'll put a link down there, and watch where it goes. It's pretty amazing. We've got free education on there. I'm giving webinars at least once a month, but on various topics like how to decrease stress by using your brain. And we've got one on meditation and sleep and eating and moving. And all the while in the group, I wanna live these things out loud. So it's going to be very interesting. I've got a whole bunch of videos. Look, check it out. You see my YouTube channel over here, the Digital Rabbi videos. I've already uploaded like 35 videos. It's all like a bunch of different stuff. So getting buzzed with Digital Rabbi, what is that? You'll have to check it out. So thank you so much for watching us. If you like this, do me a favor, share it with your friends, because the Digital Rabbi is going to be, I'll tell you what, I don't know the future, but I know that no one's ever done this before. This is unique. It's me. I think that I'm unique, and I hope to bring as many people with me along for the ride. So I hope you have a good rest of the night, and stop trying to figure out the Marcus jingle. No access to the Marcus jingle if you're not part of the group. I'll see you guys next time. Come on, get this thing off. Now I'm just taking my time. I'm just messing with you.